Hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker, and today what we're talking about is this jacket. This is the Street and Steel Anarchy 2 jacket. I actually have it all up on the board behind me. You'll be seeing it on screen right now. The additional artwork is by Toaster. So the important things to kind of note here is this is a Cycle Gear / Revzilla brand, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that. But it does cost about $220 for the jacket. That comes with this hoodie, which we'll talk about in a second. And it's actually quite a nice two-piece jaqueta. Now, why I purchased this was because it actually fits really good. We'll talk about that as well in a second. But first, I just wanted to run through the cost. So, like I said, $220. It comes with CE Level 2 shoulder and elbow protectors. And I did also buy a CE Level 2 back protector. You can get the one that's kind of designed for the jacket for $35. It is a 12-ounce denim jacket on the outside with aramid reinforcement on the arms and other places, and does come with the hoodie as well, which is, as far as I can tell from the site, has no protective qualities, which is good because when you take the hoodie off in order to be cooler in warm weather, you're not losing any protection, which is actually exceedingly important. If you think about it, you don't want to be being cool or in a temperature perspective, and also being less protected by your jacket. So it's quite good. Other things to note is it does have a concealed carry pocket, which it's listed on it. Even if I wanted to do that, I can't because you have to be an American citizen. It does have two pockets here, which weirdly zip down. So they zip closed down. I thought I'd kind of get over that, but I haven't yet. But again, we'll talk about that in a second. So that's kind of all the details I wanted to talk about covered off. Do I like the jacket? Yes. So let's start off with comfort. I have worn this jacket from everywhere from, I think, about 28 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, I think, -1 degree Celsius, all the way up to about 85, which I'll put that on the screen. So I think 85 is 30 degrees Celsius, thereabouts. I was reading it off the dash of my motorcycle. Now, when it goes past around about 65 degrees Fahrenheit, which I'm guessing is like 15 degrees Celsius, I do take out the hoodie. The hoodie gets too warm very quickly, but it is actually pretty good in a colder situation. Recently I did take a trip up to Williamsburg to meet some friends, and when I left here it was extremely cold, and I just left the hoodie section in the jacket. Now, I also did have base layers on, which does make a difference, but all in all, I think this is actually a really good option for the temperature range that I described, mainly because I've used it in all of them and it wasn't too hot and it wasn't too cold. Don't get me wrong, it is definitely not a cold weather jacket on its own. The base layer was definitely necessary for riding up to Williamsburg for me. I know some people are more used to living in colder atmospheres, and that's fine. You obviously get used to that. That's kind of part of why humans are called adaptable. But if you're someone who lives in a warmer place, even Ireland I would consider a warmer place to the general coldness of some areas, this would be actually pretty good. So comfort definitely gets a plus. So that's one of the pluses. We will talk about negatives later in the video. Like I said, just a couple of things. Comfort-wise, the pockets are kind of weird, that they zip down to close, and also a much bigger zip handle would have been better, because when you have gloves on, it is really difficult to find that little zipper connection, which kind of sucks because it's just a standard size YKK zipper connection, whereas if you had kind of a bigger one that you could feel in gloves, definitely I would prefer that. You can also open it here for expansion, and there is also a clip down the bottom here to make it wider. The shoulders are very comfortable, and I'm a pretty big guy. If this is your first time seeing the channel, I'm 6'7" or 200 centimeters tall, and at the moment I weigh 289 pounds. I am losing weight at the moment, but we'll see how that goes. And this is only a 2XL. So these jackets are definitely more generously sized, which is nice because that never happens. So for a taller person and a bigger person, Really, really impressed with this from a size perspective and the shoulder perspective and everything. There's just actually space there for me. It's not something that's, you know, makes you feel like a giant creature, which, like I said, is nice. Another negative that I'll mention right off the bat is the name, Street and Steel. I don't like the name Street and Steel. It's kind of like cringy, and Anarchy too is definitely cringy. I'm probably not the target audience for the names. The jacket's great from a fit perspective, like I said, but the naming system, I just do not like it at all. At all. No. Next, I want to talk about the protective qualities of the jacket. So the fact that this does come off the coat hanger with CE level 2 elbows and shoulders is definitely a plus, and the ability to put in a CE level 2 back protector makes this a pretty good all-round casual protective jacket, I feel. Plus the 12-ounce denim is really, really thick. And the important thing is, I mean, the more material you put between yourself and the road, if you do come off, it's going to obviously be more beneficial. So definitely a plus there. And you know, just the only thing I will say is I think every jacket should really come with a back protector. Elbows and shoulders are obviously very important, but I'm really not sure why for the extra $35 this just doesn't come as standard in the jacket. I think I would recommend that if you're going to buy, if you're in the market for buying a jacket for protective reasons, you're going to want a back protector anyway, right? I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, so I'm not really sure why it does not come as part of the jacket, and you do have to spend the extra $35. Not a deal breaker for me. It wasn't a deal breaker for me. I paid the extra money, had the back protector, but I don't really get it. You know, just put the back protector as standard. It's better for everyone. It's better for the salespeople, and it's better for people buying the jacket. So like I said, storage, you have two little pockets here, one here, one here. You have two pockets here, which, like I said, are zip down to close, and you can't really feel them with the gloves on. The other thing then is you do zip this closed, so it is a zip closed jacket, and then you have buttons all the way up. I'll show you now. So we're going to close the jacket here, just to there. And these buttons, I mean, from the aesthetic perspective, I understand why they did it. I've never been the biggest fan of buttons, but this is kind of the jacket on. I have been told it's a nice looking jacket. And yeah, I mean, the buttons kind of do look nice. I honestly have nothing to say against them. They've been functional. And to give you an indication of how long I've been wearing this jacket, I have covered 2,500 miles on the v-strom, which is right there, and about, I think, 1,500 on the CB, which is over there. So all in all, it's got good mileage on it from an off-the-shelf perspective before I made this review. And I have to say, everything's holding up super, super good. Zips are all good, buttons are all good. There's no like early wear that I see that would concern me, and it's also been in the rain a few times. So overall, durability wise, I think the jacket's very good, both from a protective standard and also, you know, durability in weather standard. Yeah, I don't really have any bad things to say about it. So far, so good. Cost. So let's talk about the cost. I think the fact that this is $220 plus, honestly, let's call it $255, because I do think you should get the back protector. Like I said, you don't have to, but I recommend it. And the fact that if you look at other jackets that are kind of like a two weather jacket, so I would call this like moderately cold to pretty hot jacket. I think $255 for the lot is actually pretty reasonable if you were to compare it to other jackets that are there. I mean, personally, what I would love to get is a Climb adventure style jacket or Revit adventure style jacket. And if you're going for something that kind of matches, you know, the look of this, okay, well, a different look, not as bikery as this one. I'm talking like Harley bikery, cruiser bikery, we'll say. You know, I won't differentiate. Then definitely there are, you know, more expensive options. But I think from a basis of something that can be worn casually in and out to work, in and out of town, and also on longer trips, I think this is actually a very, very good price. Particularly, like I said, it is made like really, really strong. Once you get your hands on this thing, it's made really well. I'm very impressed with that. So cost-wise, I think it is definitely worth it. And then the aesthetics. So like I said, I have gotten compliments on this jacket. I don't think it's because I was wearing it. I am not the most attractive hanger in the world. I do think it was because people actually like the jacket, so make of that what you will. It definitely has a style, you know, the style being more kind of cruisery or old school bikes. Probably doesn't fit the v-strom too much, but when you're as big as I am, you kind of take what you get, particularly for the price. So aesthetics wise, I like it. I actually quite like the dark denim. I like the buttons. Functionally, buttons obviously kind of suck. That's why we invented zips. But looks wise, I do like the buttons. And overall, I do like the look of the jacket. I think it's good. So comfort, cost, durability, protection, all good. And I've already mentioned the bad points around the zippers on the jacket. One more bad point I do want to mention. I'm just going to pop this open for a second and show you. So with the hoodie, I keep the hoodie separate. You can zip the hoodie. I'm going to melt. It is way too hot for this. If you can zip the hoodie back into the jacket, which I have never bothered to do since I took it out the first time, because you don't really need to. You can zip the hoodie into the jacket, but there's two reasons I would recommend not doing that. Number one, if you don't, you actually get to zip this one fully closed and you get to zip your jacket fully closed. Number two, if you zip it back in, when you put it on like this right here, something crazy happens, right? I'm trying not to make too much noise. So if you put this on and you actually put the arms of the hoodie back where they're supposed to go, with this little guy here, oh, can you see that? You end up with the hoodie ends, like, I can't actually even do it now, but they stick out really, really far beyond the end of the jacket, which actually makes it really hard to get gloves on. So for that reason, I would recommend keeping them separate. It's really easy to zip them back together if that's what you want to do. I am melting, so I'm going to take these off. So like I said, it's really easy to zip them back together if that's what you want to do, but I do think from a functionality perspective and just ease of use, I just put them on and off separately. You know what I mean? If it's cold, I literally just put on the hoodie, zip it up, put the jacket over it, and that's what I would recommend. I do think it's actually really annoying when you zip them back together and put the hoodie arms where they're supposed to be, because they stick out like a good 3-4 inches, which is a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. Right? Yeah? Yeah, it's a lot. And, you know, it's just really annoying to get gloves on, because you end up with, like, you're trying to squeeze the cuff of the glove over the hoodie, and yeah, it's just, nah. Just don't do it. Keep them separate. They work really well together, just not zipped together, if that makes sense. So yeah. So other than that, if you have any questions on the jacket, please do let me know down in the comments. I do recommend it. I have enjoyed it. I really have no big negative marks other than the zipper, which I could put like some form of cord onto. I might do that. I might tie a little bit of paracord or something through it, just so I can actually find out my gloves. But yeah, if you're looking for a jacket, if you're a larger individual, the Street and Steel Anarchy 2. The name makes me throw up in my mouth a little bit. But it's a good jacket, so I do recommend it. Anyway, if you've watched, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you would consider watching more of my videos. As always, a very special thank you to all of my patrons. I do really appreciate your support. And I know one of you is looking for some information on this jacket, so now you have it. That's it. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, adios. Outro crew. If you could have any motorcycle jacket in the world, and you didn't have to pay for it, it was like free, what would you pick out of interest? Yeah, let me know, outro crew. Thanks, and bye.